Hi girls, today will be a short video about my labor, childbirth in the USA. First of all, I want to say that I delivered exactly on the 40th week, and it was induced labor, despite I supposed to deliver on the 40th, and I could wait, but I didn't want to wait. So one day before, I was doing lots of physical exercises. I was cooking a lot, I was walking a lot, I was doing literally everything, whatever you can find on internet. I just wanted my labor to start next day, but natural way. So I decided to cook a lot. I prepared lots of food and I froze it, so we would have some food when we come back from the hospital. And you know, I spent approximately 5 hours in the kitchen. Then I was here. I asked Max to inflate a huge balloon fit ball, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be doing some exercises. I found some videos on my TV, on YouTube, how to do different exercises in order to start labor in natural way. So I just tried everything, and you know, I sat here on this sofa exactly here at 12:30 midnight, and I felt some contractions, but they were like mild contractions, because for me, I guess it was mild, because usually when I have my period, my contractions are extremely strong. So I sat here and then I was like, okay, so maybe in the morning I'll start my labor. But I woke up, nothing. So we had to be in the hospital at 7:30. So they booked surgery room for us, where I would deliver a baby. I believe it's called surgery room, but I'm not sure. So we came to the hospital late because I was trying to organize some stuff here, plus I cooked and showered and all that stuff. We are already on the way to the hospital. Now it's 7:43 and we're supposed to be there at 7:30. This is the father who was curious, where is Max? He's always with me, always, but I'm not showing him that much. Our usual road to the hospital. And this is another place we are driving by all the time. We're going to the hospital. Here is the place. Emergency. And labor department is also here. Yes, what? We are already in labor and delivery department.
Baby, don't hit doctors and nurses. If you hit a nurse, it's a felony.
I'm not going to.
You see? This is for you. Aggressive behavior will not be tolerated.
So here is my delivery room, bathroom, standard, and shower. Most probably I'm gonna be here after delivery for 1 hour or 2. Let's see what's here. Oh wow. So the nurse explained to me, this is the crib for the baby when I deliver, this is the warmer, and this is the table where the doctor will keep all his stuff. Here there are lots of supplies. We already checked, but I didn't see ready to bath, and this is so excited. What is this? I have no idea what is this. Okay, and I asked them what's here. They said it is everything I will use after the delivery. So here are the monitors, and the nurse started to prepare IV for me. So they will start IV right now. This is the bed. Clock. Nice. My suitcase, water, and look at the view. Wow. And they said that there are only 3 rooms in this labor department with windows. Chair for Max to sleep, but he's not gonna be sleeping here. Okay, what's here? My dress. I'm already on the bed, connected to IV. And this monitor is monitoring heartbeat and contractions. I didn't know. So on my tummy I have these sensors and hospital gown. So excited. First time when Max is having a cord and I'm next to him. That's so funny. 9:45 a.m. Here is Max. He's working. He's waiting for his cord call. I said, what if I start delivering right now? This is how my hand looks like right now. The first thing which I opened on YouTube, inducing labor, what to expect, and other stuff.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, no, I was watching it before because so YouTube is showing me what I watched, and the first what I opened, I can see. So we came to the hospital. It was something like 8:30 or 8:20, despite we're supposed to be there at 7:30. Yeah, we were a little bit late, but still they were waiting for us. So we checked in, they checked my documents, they checked Max's documents, and they asked me to wait. And I was 80 kgs, and when I checked out from that hospital, I was 75 kgs. So then we were put in the room, and it looked like a hotel room. So we had huge windows, and the nurse told me, she's like, don't worry, those windows, they are not transparent, so nobody will see you from outside. And I just started to record the room there, and the nurse entered, and she's like, oh, we will start your fluids. I was like, wait, I need to record the room tour. So when they started to give me fluids, the nurse decided to check how much I was dilated, and at the time she told me that I was dilated 4 centimeters, and she told me, so we're not going to give you pills which will help you to dilate 2-3 centimeters. So she said we will start with Petocin. So Petocin, it is oxytocin, but in form of medicine. So they started to give me Petocin through my veins, and then contractions started. And they started like crazy. I was dying from pain, and when Doula came, she came approximately at 12:30. So she said, like, how can you handle such contractions? And I told her, they are pretty painful, but it was like my period is exactly like that. Everybody was surprised because really, during my period, I'm just like that person. I even don't go to work, I take days off, and that's it. I wanted to have epidural, but for the epidural, you're supposed to have saline water in your blood circulating. So saline water makes your blood pressure up. So my blood pressure was at that time 130/80. And they told me before we start epidural, we need to raise your blood pressure and the blood pressure of your baby, because epidural will make your blood pressure down. So I was like, okay. And I remember those last minutes, I was dying from pain, but they said, like, we cannot do anything, we have to wait for 40 minutes. And then some funny gentleman came, and his nurse was a sweetheart. So she held my hand and she told me, listen, you cannot move, but she's like, you can squeeze my hand as much as you want, because you just have to stay still, sit still, and not to move. And I was nearly dying because of those contractions. So they put that catheter, and that medicine should go to my body, to my back, and it should numb everything down there. And it was very good that they gave me some device, and there was a button so I could press, and I would get some extra shot of painkillers. But like, I used it 2 times, and then I didn't feel those pretty strong contractions. And the doctor said, do you feel contractions? I'm like, no. But he said, like, we see on the screen that you have very huge and pretty painful contractions. I was like, no, I'm fine. So then they realized that they have to reduce it, because I could stay like this for a really long time and without delivering a baby. So also I want to mention that I don't understand those girls who go for labor with their spouses, their husbands, and the thing which a guy can see there. I don't know, if I was a guy, I would not be willing to see that. So when I was admitted to the hospital and I was 4 centimeters dilated, they told me we need to break your water. So when they broke my water, and the nurse told me you might be bleeding. So Max was there, but I told him, I was like, please leave. And he didn't know that they broke my waters, and that nurse told me that I might bleed. So I told him, leave. And he was like, no, no, I'm fine, I can stay here. I'm like, leave. And he didn't want to leave, but I also was not telling him what is happening to me. I was sitting on the bed, and I was covered with the blanket, so he didn't see anything. And when I wanted to go to the restroom, I told him, can you please leave the room? I want to go to the restroom. So the nurse was helping me to get up from bed, and you're supposed to carry that IV. It was approximately 11 a.m. So I was texting my friend. I was like, where are you? Please come. Because in the room, you can have only 2 guests. So there should be my friend and Doula. That's it. So Max was not included in the list, but we already agreed about that. But you know, on Monday, I told him, I was like, please stay with me until Doula arrives. I was like, maybe I'll get panicked because it will be painful. So he didn't want to go there, but I convinced him. And then when he was there next day, he was like, I'm okay, I can stay. I was like, no, leave. But I didn't tell him why I was pushing him out from the room. And then I said to the nurse, I was like, listen, don't check me down there in front of him. He shouldn't see anything. Then I was telling Max, please leave, because nurse has to check me down there. So he was leaving. She was checking me, and then she's like, oh, you can come in. You know, I think that men should see the woman looking nice and beautiful. Of course, it's everything natural, but still I was trying to avoid those scenes where he would see me with blood and, you know, not looking nice. Now I want to talk about Doula. Doula was one of the best investments I've done during this pregnancy. So why? Before I hired Doula, I asked my friends who were delivering with doulas, and I asked them, so what's your advice? What can you tell me? Do I have to hire her? To be honest, I was not even planning to hire doula, but then, you know, when I realized that Max will be useless there because he doesn't have medical education, and he won't be able to help me, and he doesn't know what the woman will go through. So I just decided, okay, so I'll hire doula. I paid her $600, and I just told her that I need you only for 1 day, for the day of the delivery. So in my contract it was written something like she's supposed to be with me for 16 or 20 hours, something like that. And if I don't deliver during those 20 hours, she will be able to leave. So I signed that contract, and I was like, okay, it's understandable. If I pay her $600 and she will be with me for 20 hours, of course, yes. She has to go home. So my doctor told me at 11 o'clock, he was like, you can call your doula and you can tell her to come here, because I told to my doctor that it will take her approximately 1 hour to arrive. So when she came, and she was the person who I've never seen in my life. We talked over the phone, and I like the way how she talks over the phone, and also we had a video chat, and I realized that yes, I'm comfortable with this person. But at some point I was like, I've never heard of my friends hiring doula. Only when I mentioned that to my best friend here, and she said, you know, I know one girl, we can call her and we can talk to her. I know Lera since I was approximately 15, but I said to Ira, I was like, you know, she might not even remember me, and I was like, let's do a video call together. So I talked to Lera, and she said, like, believe me, this will be your best investment in whole process. during the whole pregnancy. And then, you know, I realized that Lera was really right. So when doula came there and she helped me to reduce the pain, and she was putting me in some positions that would minimize my contractions. Of course, I could feel them, but they were a little bit less. And I remember when I already had epidural and I had contractions on my back, and doctor and the nurse were pretty surprised that I'm having contractions on my back. And I was like, yeah, I don't feel it on my stomach, I feel it on my back. So they realized that my girl is facing my spine, so her head is pressing on my spine. And doula said, okay, we'll try to rotate her so that you would have natural delivery, vaginal delivery. Otherwise, I would have C-section. And I was like so afraid. And she really helped my girl to rotate, and I delivered her in a natural way. So I was dilated 10 centimeters by 4 p.m. My doctor came, and this doctor, who I just changed when I was approximately 8 months pregnant, and when I talked to him, and I just realized I want to deliver with him because he answered all my questions. Previous doctor, he didn't give me that much answers, but me, I wanted to know absolutely everything, and I was reading a lot, and it was for me pretty important that I would start my labor with the person who I feel comfortable with. My girl is crying, so I'll go and check on her. Panic attack during labor. I was really panicking, and I started to cry, and I was trying to be quiet, not to do any but then they saw that I'm full of tears, and they were like, what's happened, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt her. They were like, what are you saying? We're not gonna let you do that. And I was like already pushing, and but for me, I was like, oh my god, she's so small, how she will get out from my body, and maybe I will just move somehow and I'm gonna hurt her. And they were like, no, it's not gonna happen, not on our watch. And I was like, okay, but what if your blood pressure drops? What if your lungs will not start working? And my doctor, he told me many times before I even went for this induced labor, and he told me, he was like, listen, your lungs are closed, stop panicking about that. And when I was there delivering this princess, so I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna hurt her. Maybe my body will stop the contractions and I won't be able to push her out, or maybe I will press somehow, despite, you know, like I was in the position that you cannot move. I don't know, like something was happening in my head, and I was panicking 2 times, and they were like, calm down, everything is fine. And I asked my doctor, I was like, can you give me some, I don't know, some medication to calm me down? And he was like, no, we don't have anything. Come on, hospital doesn't have that. But my friend explained to me, she's like, do you understand that if they start to giving you some kind of relaxation pills, then you won't be able to push her out? And I was like, yeah, makes sense. So I'm really grateful to my friend Lydia, who was with me. She is very tough woman. She was like, Victoria, stop relaxing. Now you have to work. You have to push. Listen, I can see her. I can see her head. So start pushing. Start pushing. And I'm like, I cannot. I don't have power. She's like, you can do it. And I realized that yes, it was good that I took her with me, because doctor, he was a sweetheart. He was like, oh, now you have to push. And the nurse, Carla, I remember her name, she was telling me, she's like, now you have to push harder. And I'm like, I cannot, I don't have power. Also, I had heartburns. Oh gosh, I thought that I would die there. And it was my mistake that I ate, and that soup was like coming up here, and that acidity was killing me. And I was like, please give me food, give me some milk. They were like, no, we cannot. So Max was with me there, and he could order some food, but they would not let me have food. So in case we go for C-section, my stomach has to be empty. I delivered our girl at 6:44. She was 3 kilograms and 200 grams, and she was 50 centimeters long. You know, when I delivered her, the first thing which I asked Lydia was like, please take a picture and send it to Max. But she was on my breast, and she was covered with some white stuff. And then Max came. He was pretty surprised, pretty shocked, and he was recording her when they were washing her. And I told him, I was like, record, take the camera. I want to capture that moment. So then Lydia excused herself like in half an hour, and Doula also, she left after 1 hour. And then there were only 3 of us and a nurse. Injections, we did injection of vitamin K. Also they put some ointment on her eyes, and also we did vaccination hepatitis B. So at 8 o'clock they transferred us to another room, and that room was pretty comfortable room, and it looked like a hotel room. And we also could order food. Actually, I could order food because in that room where I was delivering the baby, they said she's not allowed to have any food, or I could order only coffee, tea, soup, anything what would be transparent. I don't understand, but you know, doctor told me before you go to the hospital, you can have proper breakfast, because once you will be checked into the hospital, you will not have any food. I remember pretty well that from epidural, my legs went numb, and I remember that the left one, I even couldn't feel it. So by the time it was evening, late evening, approximately 9 or 10 o'clock, I was trying to get up from bed, and I was trying to go to the restroom, and I was like, and then the nurse, she saw that, and she's like, oh my God, I'm gonna bring wheelchair. I'm like, don't worry, I can do it, because you know my hands are pretty strong, and my arms, but I couldn't feel my legs. So she took me to the bathroom, and she explained to me how I have to take care of myself, and I didn't expect it, to be honest. So she gave me disposable pads. She gave me disposable underwear. Then there were some kind of pads with witch hazel, then peri bottle, so I could wash everything down there. You know, it was like layer, and I was like, what? Are you serious? She's like, yeah, you have to do that. And plus, there were like some crystals, which are pretty cold. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. She's like, you have to, because everything is swollen there. I was like, what? This is my room where I was after the delivery. This is the place where we could wash hands, and nurses as well, gloves, paper towels, then soap, sanitizer. So here I don't know what was. Here they were writing who's the nurse on duty today. It was pretty hard to remember all of them. And here you can see the pain scale, and the room 154. Welcome, Evelyn. This computer, they were recording all those vitals, blood pressure, something else, lots of stuff regarding to me. And then here is the board, lactation board. We were writing when we figured out that it is the place where you can write the time when she was fed, because everybody was asking, when did you feed her last time? When did you feed her last time? This is leftover. I love carrot cake, coffee. You could get lots of coffee here whenever you want. Okay, here is the menu. Menu. Okay, breakfast, lunch, dinner. We could order anything. A la carte, breakfast, and you should call 3663. Here is the magic button. I used to call the nurse quite often just because I was alone here and I was a little bit worried. The bed, so you can control the bed from here. the camera. At least I've got some pictures. So the crib looks like this. Here we had some diapers and wet wipes. Max was sleeping here. Our baby girl already in car seat. Thank you, Ira and Aziz. And the bathroom. I'll show you very quickly the bathroom. So here they have everywhere help button, buttons, shower. They don't have soap there, so I asked Max to bring me not body lotion, body wash. So I'm gonna leave it here. Maybe somebody will use it. I'm joking. It's good that Max was there with me because he was taking care of the baby and I was trying to take care of myself, and it was pretty hard because I wanted to take my baby, I wanted to look at her and I wanted to play with her, but I was powerless. And it was, you know, pretty interesting that when I was feeding my baby girl, I had pain down there and I was like drunk. And they explained to me that it's all because of the hormones when I feed the baby. So my body produces some hormones which treat me down there. It's like, wow, that's pretty interesting. Another thing which I wanted to mention, that there were nurses who used to come, I don't know, every 3-4 hours, and they used to check on me. They used to press my belly button and they were checking how my uterus is shrinking. And I didn't know that they could touch me and could figure out if it was shrinking or not. And she said, yes, it's very important. And I know that one of my friends told me that she had some infection because nurses didn't check her down there, and her uterus got some infection and it almost cost her life. So I remember that quite well. It's good that I had a button, magic button, which I can press and the nurse would come and help me with anything. Look how cute. Doctor and the nurses sent us this small congratulation card. Oh my god, that's so cute. And some drinks, and there was a cake which I ate, and Max just got me coffee. Lactation specialists. The only thing which I can say that breastfeeding is pretty hard, and I'm still trying to understand how to do that, but I'll record another video and I'll talk more about that in the next video. Food in the hospital was pretty good, and they also told us that we can order one celebration meal. This is celebration lunch in the hospital. Here I have coffee and cheesecake and something else. And it was so sweet of them. And I remember that I used to get different cards, different gifts, like small gifts, you know, like some sweets, some treats. And it was so nice, and I even kept it somewhere in the house. I just don't know where right now, but I have lots of stuff from the hospital. And Max was like, why do we need that? And I was like, listen, we might not need that. Our baby girl will look at it in 20 years, 10 years, and it will be pretty interesting for her, because I remember when I was approximately 15 years old, I was telling to my mom, why do you keep all those albums and all those stuff which are like some garbage? But you know, now when I'm 34, I realized that, you know, I want to see those albums, I want to see those small moments, and I want to see how big my foot was. Gosh, I'll start crying right now. Hormones, hormones. That is my dinner. And carrot cake, some fruits. And here I have chicken quesadilla. And here is chicken quesadilla. My hand is shaking because I'm recording with the left one. And here, when I was hungry, I was eating granola bars. Our dinner in the hospital, the last dinner. Carrot cake, and most probably, yeah, I have the same. Yes, so it is chicken, some bun, broccoli, and this is a juice, and also carrot cake. breastfeeding. You know, when you deliver a baby, you don't have milk, you have some kind of transparent liquid which is coming out from your breast. And I was so panicked because my baby girl didn't eat for 5 hours in a row, and I was like, oh my god, she might die from hunger. And then another nurse, she came to check what time my baby girl ate, and I said, oh my god, I don't know what to do, I cannot feed her, I cannot wake her up. And you have to wake up your baby every 2-3 hours to feed. And I couldn't wake her up, and I started to call nurses, and I rose this issue, and I was like, I don't know what to do. You told me to feed her every 2-3 hours, but she is sleeping and she feels that life is excellent. But me, I'm panicked. I started to struggle next day after I delivered a baby, because I knew that you have to breastfeed a baby, but nobody taught me how to do that. And at some point, I didn't read a lot about it. I didn't study anything about that, because I thought, okay, I'm going to be in the hospital, so they will teach me. But they didn't teach me. Only when lactation specialist came and she was trying to teach me, but Max was with me there and he had court. And he was like, your honor, your honor. And then I said to that lady, she was approximately 50 years old or 60 years old, I'm like, I'm sorry, but he is a lawyer and he is in the court right now. And she was whispering, but I was really grateful that she at least tried to explain to me something, but I was in La La Land and I couldn't understand anything. Another thing which really pissed me off, which annoyed me 100 times, that nurses come every 10 minutes, literally, every 10 minutes. 3 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. We want to check your vitals. We want to check vitals of your baby. We want to check you down there. We want you to sign some papers. When did you feed the baby? We want to wash the baby. Then doctors are coming. And I was like, oh my God. And at some point I was like, oh, it's nice. The room here is nice and it's cozy here. But, you know, if you stay in the hospital and you just deliver a baby, you don't have power, and every single minute somebody is entering your room, you feel like killing everybody, and they don't have locks. You cannot lock the door. And I remember when I just fed Evelyn and I put her to sleep, it was 5:50, and the nurse came at 6 o'clock. Oh, I want to wait her. I'm like, no, please come later, because I just put her to sleep, and she was crying. And I remember one nurse, she helped me to feed the baby, and I told her, I was like, you know, she doesn't want to eat from my left breast. And she said, like, with me she will start eating. I was like, no, I tried everything. She's like, have you tried all the positions? I'm like, no. She's like, I'll teach you all the positions, and she will start eating from the left one. So I was really grateful that she was patient, and she spent maybe 20 minutes and she taught me lots of stuff. Visitors. You can have visitors there. I believe it was from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. My friends came in the evening. We had a really nice time. My friend Ira, she brought me food. Lisa came after her work, and I said, Lisa, you have to be here 10 minutes to 8 or 5 minutes to 8 or 15 minutes to 8, because they won't let you in. And she came 10 minutes to 8, and she spent 1 hour there with me. So I was really grateful. And Lisa, you are such a great help right now. My friend Lisa is still coming to me, and she's helping me with the baby, because I was getting nuts even, you know, to bath the baby. I was like, oh my God, I'm scared. I don't have parents here. I don't have anybody here. I don't have relatives, and my friends come and they help me, and I do appreciate it. Of course, Max is number one, helper number one, but I do appreciate my girls' help. It's been already 13 days since my delivery, and I already lost another 2 or 3 kgs. So not bad, but my friend told me, don't worry, this is water. You are just losing water right now, because I was really swollen. And my friend told me, you will see those extra 5 kgs, which you will have to work on. I was recording in some other videos my hospital bag, and you could see absolutely everything what I was taking with me to the hospital. The only thing which I didn't use, postpartum underwear, because they were giving me disposable underwear. And also what I regretted is that I took not enough onesies. So when you go there, you can get it from the hospital, but it will be not excellent quality, and it will be pretty cheap quality, but still you can get it. But I regretted that I didn't take more. Also, what I noticed that we bought some onesies which supposed to be from 0 months to 3 months, and our baby girl, she doesn't fit into those because of the diapers. And oh yeah, I remember that they were giving us pampers, and I didn't like pampers because my baby girl started to have rash, and when we came home I switched to hypoallergenic diapers, and now we don't have any rash. And thank you, Ira from New York, who recommended those diapers. They are really game changer. I want to say a huge thank you to Dr. Miller, then Carla, the best nurse, and Tia and Lydia. So those people, they were involved completely in my labor, and my labor experience was great, the best. And when my friends asked me, would you repeat it again? I was like, labor, yes. Pregnancy, I don't know, because it was pretty tough for me.